This is Gary Atensi with CNTV, and today we're in Aurora, Colorado. I'm here with All Pro Restoration. Since 2011, they have been your 24/7 restoration professionals. I'm here with Jessica. Let me ask you, as a co-owner of a locally owned and operated company, this is a company that really you began to serve people out there, really make cheerleaders of clients, if you will. That is what has kept you in business. Share with me a little bit about how you guys got started in this industry.
I will say that my husband started in construction right out of high school, and he has always had a passion for serving people. When the construction industry crashed, he kind of fell into a restoration industry job, and from there it turned more into a passion. And we both opened All Pro Restoration in Colorado 4 years ago. And we've really been trying to reach out to the community and show them that we're here to help them, not here to gouge them. So it's definitely been a passion of ours, learning about it and serving the community.
Excellent. I mean, obviously, the elements are all put here to serve us and support us, be it earth, wind, or fire. They help us. Water is no different. It's something we use every single day in our lives, yet it can be our friend or our foe. Why is water kind of unique in that way?
Water is a lot more damaging than people really understand. It does a lot of moisture wicking. Think of a paper towel. We always refer to customers as the paper towel effect. So just because you topically see it somewhere does not mean that it has not wicked somewhere else. And so water is very, very powerful in that respect.
Interesting. I mean, some of the situations when it comes to water damage are actually covered by insurance. If you're working with an insurance company, I imagine there's some certain standards that you have to adhere to. Share with me a little bit about those standards.
Well, I don't want to bore you with too many of the details. We do have a standard called the S500 that we are required to follow. There are also other standards called the S520 that we are also required to follow. They're put out there by a company called the IICRC. That company basically just makes sure that restoration individuals and restoration companies are adhering to the same policies, same standards, and that the industry is standardized. When the industry started 20 years ago, they didn't have standards, and they've since developed those standards so that people aren't left with mold conditions.
Serious business we're dealing with. Obviously, those standards are what companies have to adhere to, yet not all the companies are the same, and we know that. What do you think it is that really sets you guys apart compared to other competitors?
I would say that our company focuses very strongly on education, education of each individual that works for the company. My husband, co-owner of the business, is very well educated in the industry. He is one of the very few master certified restoration professionals, working on his fire master certification as well. So we are very, very high on educating our employees and educating ourselves and continuing our education.
Water damage obviously is more than meets the eye. Share with me a little bit about we're talking about primary damage that takes place as well as secondary damage. What is the difference there?
Okay, so primary damage is what a standard water loss would cause. So something that has only been happening for a couple of hours or maybe a day or two. When things sit for too long, you can have secondary damage. Humidity can cause expanding and contracting of different parts of the home. Your doorways, you'll notice swollen doors, furniture will swell and things like that. So that would be more like secondary damage.
And we're talking secondary left even longer, can become long-term damage. We're talking about actually the structure of your home, weakening, maybe the walls or even the floors. Obviously, that's something that you try not to make happen. You try to get out there and take a proactive approach with.
Definitely. Dry rot and wet rot are very, very common, even in Colorado. A lot of people try and say that Colorado is too dry for wet rot or mold, but it's definitely very common out here.
Interesting. Speaking of Colorado, we live in an area that seasons change, weather changes all the time. Mother Nature, she really throws out some great things at us, but also a lot of water and storms. Share with me a little bit about storm damage, how you guys are able to help there.
Storm damage is a really tricky one, and it's a very unfortunate situation for most people because it's not covered by insurance. So we really have a heart when the storms come through. We feel very bad for a lot of people that end up with flooded basements. But the storm damage, it comes in from the outside. It contains a lot of pathogens, fertilizers, feces from animals being outside. I have actually seen mushrooms grow on the inside of the home after stormwater has come in that hasn't been addressed. So storm damage is very, very damaging, much more so than a lot of people think.
Interesting. We're talking about basements, window wells, the actual foundation. I mean, water seeping in, like you say. We in Colorado, we love our basements, and so that's probably something that you've seen as well.
Definitely. I've seen more finished basements in Colorado than I think I've seen in my entire life in other states. So I don't think that basements were originally designed to be finished, but as we try and expand the sizes of our homes to expand the value of our homes, a lot of people are finishing their basements.
Interesting. Like you say, most of the time you're dealing in extracting fresh water, but many times it's not fresh water. What about sewage removal as well?
Sewage is actually very common in Colorado. A lot of people have cast iron and clay pipes for their main sewer line. And we don't really think about our sewer lines because they're under our homes. So most people don't think to service them. They don't think about maintaining them or replacing them. It's a very costly thing to do. I mean, a replacement of your sewer line could run you probably between $5,000 and $25,000. So but the damage that it creates backing up through your main line into your home, all those pathogens from that sewer line come back into your home and can cause very strong odors and can cause people to get very, very sick.
Like you guys say, the longer you wait, the more damage there is. One of those areas that it can happen as well, like you say, even here in Colorado, is that of mold. Is mold removal something that you specialize in as well?
Definitely. We actually do specialize in mold remediation. We work with a company that does mold remediation or mold testing, but we actually do the mold removal part. So there are two parts to a mold remediation. We do mold testing first to verify that there is in fact mold present and airborne, and then we actually remediate the mold that is present.
One thing about mold, not only is it ugly to look at, it's a nuisance, it grows, but it could actually be dangerous as well. Share with me a little bit about that.
Yeah, so mold is a lot like a flower. So it has pollens. As it grows, what you see is actually a flower. And as it continues to grow, it releases those pollens into the air. And that is what causes most people to get sick, or those pollens that are being released into the air. There is another technical term with you or for the mold pollens that I won't share at this time, but just think of it like a pollen on a flower. And those, there's hundreds of different types of mold, probably about 13 different kinds that can actually make people very sick.
Interesting. I mean, obviously, not all the cleanup you do is from catastrophic storms or big areas or things going on, but we're talking about even starting small, like appliance leaking. What are some of the things you've come across in that area as well that obviously need taken care of?
Definitely. A lot of people do think that we run primarily on weather. A lot of people say, well, how do you do restoration in Colorado? It doesn't rain very much there. But you're very correct. Washing machines will fail and they will overflow. Your drain line to your washing machine will disconnect from the drain inside the wall and will come out and will flood all over your laundry room, or your kitchen sink drain line will fail. Your garbage disposal can fail. Supply line to your dishwashers, those can cause a lot of damage because it's hot water coming out of there. Hot water being much more damaging than cold water.
Even the small little line that goes into your refrigerator. I've had a problem with that myself, and within 2 to 3 days, it's down in my kid's bedroom and causing some serious havoc.
Yes, the fridge supply lines, I know everybody loves ice makers to their freezers, but if you can avoid it, we always recommend actually to turn those off because they can cause a lot of damage to a home. I've seen them flood 2 or 3 levels of a home.
That is amazing. Let me ask you this. Obviously, our homes, they're not concrete. We have carpet or tile put down. Why is it important for professionals to come in and clean up the carpet and the tile as well after something like this happens?
When you handle things yourself, you're not certified in knowing what's behind the wall. There's insulation behind your exterior walls. There's baseboards on top of drywall, and the baseboards are harboring moisture, and you can't dry that just by pulling wet carpet and pad up. In sewage contaminated situations, just cleaning the surface with bleach. Bleach actually is a non-penetrating chemical, so it cannot penetrate the surface of anything and actually seep into and kill the bacteria below the surface. So self cleanup it's definitely not recommended.
Absolutely. Like you said, a lot more than meets the eye. Viewers, take a look at the bottom of the screen right there. What you're going to see is their website. First of all, on the website, you'll learn a little bit more about this company that began back in 2011. It's locally owned and operated. You can check them out there, but the best thing to do is take a look online. We're talking about reviews everywhere. You can check out Google reviews. They are a BBB accredited business as well. You can see that they're on network referrals out there. And this is a company that has helped many folks clean up their house after any kind of catastrophic wet problem or even a small drip that possibly an appliance can give you. You've built your business basically on that of honesty, integrity, but one of the most important aspects, like you say, is education, knowledge. Obviously, a master water restorer is in-house. Does that make it kind of reassuring for folks that let you into their home?
Definitely. When my husband arrives on site and he lets them know that he's Master Water certified, our customers know at all times the job site is being supervised by somebody that really knows what they're doing. The honesty and integrity part of our company is actually a very vital key to our company, but a lot of companies will go out there and tell you that they're honest and they have integrity. So we really focus and hone in more on the education and the knowledge base to kind of set ourselves apart there.
Always researching, seeing what the best way to extract,
Yes.
Always looking at the machinery out there, possibility. Obviously, is this still something you guys enjoy doing together?
Oh, we love it. Actually, when we have a weekend where it's slow or quiet, we both kind of look at each other like, well, now what do we do? So we're always waiting for that next flood, and obviously we don't want somebody to have a flood, but we enjoy meeting new people. We enjoy coming to the rescue and really being there for someone in their time of need.
Excellent. Viewers, last time, take a look at the bottom of the screen right there. You're going to see their contact information. Basically, they're in a business where minutes matter. We're talking about a 90-minute turnaround time. They can actually get on the phone and contact and find out what it is that you're needing. This is a company, once again, like I say, that is on all the referral networks out there. Check them out on the World Wide Web. And soon they will turn you into a cheerleader instead of a client and also a friend, allowing you to come into their home and basically clean up anything necessary. Is there anything else you would like to add?
I think that just about covers it.
I figured it would be. This is Gary Atensi with CNTV. And if you don't know, now you know.